Lesson 3.6 expands on the topic of plant roots by researching 3 ways that roots help a plant: by keeping it anchored to the ground, by getting water from its surroundings, and by bringing in nutrients that are dissolved in that water. To conduct this research, students will use an embedded time-lapse video as well as non-fiction texts. The lesson concludes with students observing the celery stalk or the white carnation demonstration from Lesson 3.5 to observe some first-hand evidence of how a plant gets water from the roots up to its leaves. For materials for today's lesson, Lesson 3.6 will require the celery stalk or the white carnation from Lesson 3.5's food coloring demonstration. There are also a couple handouts which can be printed and some interactive texts which can be displayed for the whole class on a smartboard. And the teacher can lead the class in how to gather information using these nonfiction texts. Students should have their science notebooks accessible to take notes during today's lesson. The lesson begins with the teacher reviewing some prior knowledge with students about plant parts, specifically the roots of the plant. Students can share memories or experiences where they have seen tree roots in order to establish their knowledge that roots seem to be pretty good at keeping plants anchored in place in the ground. This prior knowledge and sharing of these everyday experiences is what will provide students with the first way that roots benefit plants, by keeping them anchored. The teacher at this point in the lesson is going to hint to the students that there are 2 other ways that roots help a plant. And in order to find out these other ways, students will need to gather more information. The teacher then shows students a time-lapse video of roots growing. It may help to explain to our younger students that the plants in the video are planted in a plastic container without soil, and that the time in the video is being fast-forwarded or sped up, which is why some of the motion in the video is going to appear sudden or jerky. The time-lapse is pretty incredible to watch, especially around the 1-minute mark, when the time-lapse of the plant growing will repeat at an even faster speed. And when it does this, you can really see the roots reach all the way down to where the water is, and as soon as those roots touch, you're going to see the water level start to drop as the water is almost immediately absorbed up by the roots. This video provides students with the second reason for why roots help the plant, which is to get that water. The third reason will need to come by way of an informational text. It's suggested to use the linked interactive text Roots by Grace Hansen, which is located in your digital kit manual for this lesson. The link will go to a website, epic.com. And if you haven't already, you will need to create a free educator account in order to access this text as well as many other rich nonfiction texts. This particular text covers how roots not only absorb water, but also the nutrients in the soil, which may have dissolved in that water. Even though it's true that plants get their food mainly from the sun, many plants also will need these nutrients from the soil as part of their diet. So once students have researched all 3 ways that roots help a plant survive, the lesson ends with the teacher claiming that the teacher has magically made the celery stalk or that white carnation from Lesson 3.5 change color. The student or the teacher presents the colored plants and asks if students accept the teacher's claim that it was really magic that changed the color, or if this could perhaps be better explained with science. Students record their arguments on a carnation record sheet, which can be reviewed as a formative assessment to help the teacher identify any students who may benefit from some additional support when it comes to this topic. The following KIT lesson, Lesson 3.7, anticipates taking place about 1 to 2 weeks after students have first planted their bean seeds. So after this lesson, Lesson 3.6, it may be a good idea to pause in the KIT and insert some additional lessons or activities from either the OER site or from Mystery Science to give those bean plants enough time to grow before we resume with the KIT lesson, Lesson 3.7.